In lesson 12, we're going to look at how to use the ratios in our problem to solve a word problem. In this scenario, they gave us the ratio of 12 ounces of cola has 40 grams of sugar. You guys have a table on there that looks similar to this on your paper, 12 to 40. What I'm going to do is determine on my ratio table what I would like my additive to be. What I'm going to do is just take the ratio of 12 to 40 and create an equivalent ratio by dividing both of these by the same number, because we can create equivalent ratios by multiplying or dividing by the same number. So I'm going to take 12 divided by 2, and I'm going to get 6. 40 divided by 2 is going to give me 20. And so then I can see I'm going to be skip counting by 6. That would be 6, 12, 18. And the other one will be counting by 20s, 20, 40, 60. So that's what I'm going to use to create my ratio table below for the questions below. So right here, you have the question. It says 1 liter of cola contains about 34 fluid ounces, and they want to know how many grams of sugar would be in a liter bottle of cola. So in order to solve this, we actually have to figure out how much sugar would be in 34 fluid ounces. And so I'm going to go ahead and create that ratio table, continue it, like I already have, but I'm going to make it up and down like this, a vertical one. And so I'm going to have cola on one side, which would just be how many ounces it would be. And then on the other side, I'm going to have my sugar, which would be in grams. Using what I did here, I had 6 to 20, and now I'm just going to skip count. I'm trying to get to 34 fluid ounces, so I'm going to get as close as I can. So that'd be, on my cola side, 6 ounces, and then 12 ounces, and then 18 ounces, and then 24 ounces, 30 ounces, 36. I can stop there. The reason I can stop there is because 34 falls between these two numbers. So I'm not going to quite get to the 34, but that's where the double number line is going to help us. Over here, we're counting by 20, so that would be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120. So I know that my double number line needs to include these two ratios. These will be the beginning and end of the ratio of the double number line. In order to create the double number line, you just need to have two parallel lines. Using line paper may be more helpful for you to create them because of the lines already on there. You can actually just follow those lines for the parts of that double number line. But if you want to continue in your book, you can. So starting the double number line with the smallest of my ratios is 30 to 100. So I'm going to have 30 and 100 on that side. Then the other side of the double number line will have my other ratio, which was 36 to 120. And I'm going to draw my two lines to make it that double number line. And now I need to determine what am I going to count by to get to my 34. So going from 30 to 36, both of them are even. It'd be easiest to count by twos. And so I'm going to go from 30, 32, 34, and then that'd be 36. So 32, 34, 36. Now, I don't know what I'm skip counting by here, because up here I did by twos, but like we know, our additives aren't the same on both sides. So now I have to determine what that would be. If I wanted, or if you can, go ahead and just put that question mark right here, because that's the one we're trying to find. In order to find that, we have a couple things we need to do. First of all, if you look, this section of our double number line is broken into 3 parts. And in order to get to where our missing one is, we only need to go 2 parts in. That gives us the fraction of 2/3. So whatever this number is, it's going to be 2/3 of what the whole thing is. And so I'm starting with my 2/3. Now I need to figure out what is the whole thing. This side I have all my numbers, so I need to figure out what's my whole over here. In order to find the whole for this, I'm going to take these two numbers and subtract them. 120 minus 100 gives me 20. And so that means that my answer here is going to be a part of 2/3 of this. So I'm going to take 2/3 times the 20. Whole numbers are always over 1. And when we multiply whole numbers and fractions, we always just go straight across. We get a 2 times 20 gives me 40 as my numerator. 3 times 1 gives me 3 as my denominator. Now that's an improper fraction. We can't really do a whole lot with the improper fraction. And so what I need to do is figure out what is it as a mixed number. In order to do that, I need to do long division, find a remainder. So I have a 40 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3 is 1. I subtract 3, I get a 1, bring down to 0. I have a 10 divided by 3 is a 3. That gives me 9. That means I have 13, a remainder 1. 13 remainder 1, written as a mixed number, would be 13. 1 becomes the numerator. The denominator stays the same. So that means to go from 100 to here, I need to add 13 and 1/3 to 100. 100 plus 13 1/3 is just 113 and 1/3. So my answer then is that in 1 liter bottle of cola, so in 1 liter bottle of cola, there is 113 and 1/3 grams of sugar. And that is how you'd use a double number line to answer that question. I'm going to give you one more example, and I'm going to draw it out for you as I do it, rather than showing you a completed one and explaining it, so that you can kind of see how I take the parts of our ratio table and make the double number line and then the steps to solve it. So my next question down below asks me about the school cafeteria. And the school cafeteria says that they have restrictions on the amount of drinks available to students based off of the sugar. And it says that they can only have 25 grams of sugar in order to, at the most 25 grams of sugar. Anything over that, they can't sell. So they have to figure out what is the size then that we need to buy for the store. Now this is not for ours. We still will not sell you soda from the school. But there are some schools in different states that do. So right here, it's still going to be the same ratio from above. So we're going to use that ratio table from the problem we just solved. And I need to figure out where then will I find 25 grams of sugar. So looking up here, sugar is on the right side of your ratio table. And 25 grams would actually fall between these two ratios, 6:20 and 12:40. So I'm going to create a double number line with those ratios the same way. 6:20 will be the front part of it. 12:40 will be the back. So I'm going to draw my lines here. I have my 6:40. And I'm going to go to the end here. And that's going to be, I apologize, that's 6:20. I'm mixing up the ratios. That's 6:20 and 12:40. And then I'm going to draw the lines to make it that double number line. And again, this is cola by the ounces. Down here is my sugar, and they're measuring it by grams. Just in case you forget. So now I have to get to that 25 grams. So over here I have a 20 to 40. The quickest way to get to 25 is to count by fives. And so that would be 25, 30, 35, and then 40. So 20, 25, 30, 35. And what I'm looking for is that 25, so my missing number is right there. So this time, the bottom of our number line is filled in, but not the top. And I'm going to do the same thing. This part of the double number line is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And to get to the 25, or to where the missing number is, we just need one of those 4 parts. So our fraction is 1/4 of whatever this total thing is here. So I need to figure out what is it from 6 to 12. In order to find that, all I have to do is take our 12 minus 6. You don't want to go into the negative, start with your bigger number. So 12 minus 6 tells me that the whole is a 6. And so this part here is going to be 1/4 of 6. So I take 1/4 times my 6 over 1. I get 6/4 using my long division to create a mixed number. I have 6 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. If I subtract 4, I have a remainder 2, which means that my mixed number is going to be my whole number 1. The remainder is the top of the numerator of the fraction, and then the denominator stays the same. 2 over 4 can be simplified. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And so that actually is simplified to 1/2. So my answer is 1 1/2. So that means that I need to add, because I'm just going from here to here, I need to add 1 1/2. So 6, where I started, plus 1 1/2 gives me 7 1/2. I'm looking at ounces, and so they can sell up to 7 1/2 ounce bottles of cola to have 25 grams or less of sugar. And that's how you do it. Make your ratio table. Find the two ratios your answer is between. Create the double number line, starting with the first ratio, ending with the last one of the two that you selected. Figure out what you're going to skip count by in between it to tell you how much you're going to break up the pieces. Once you break them up, figure out how many pieces of the whole you're going to use. In this one, it was 1 part of the whole 4. Then you need to multiply your 1/4 times the difference of the missing side, which on this one was 6. Find your answer, simplify it. Take your answer, add it to wherever you started, and that will give you your answer. So I'm going to help you set up the exercise you have to solve yourself. If you look over here, they give you a ratio up here. Chantel solves 3 math problems in 4 minutes. So they start you out. They show you're going to number of questions. It's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. You have to fill out the rest. The second number is 4. They skip counted by their first number. You're going to skip count by your first number. The question down here asks you 20 math skill work questions for homework. So I look up here, 20 is between 18 and 21. So I know that these are going to be the two numbers, the 18 to something and 21 to something, that will be on my ratio table. My double number line. So below I set it up for you. Now I didn't give you the answers because you need to skip count to find it. 18 to whatever you find, 21 to whichever you find. The easiest to go from 18 to 21 is to count by ones, and so it was 18, 19, 20, and then 21. When I drew that 19 and 20, this broke it into 1, 2, 3 parts. I'm trying to find how many minutes it is for her to do 20, so the missing one is down here. So I shaded this in, which was 2 out of my 3, which was 2/3 of it. So down here below, I connected the two parts of that ratio where I just put empty boxes for you. And I showed you need to subtract them and take 2/3 times whatever that answer was of the subtraction. That's going to give you how far it is from this number to this number. Whatever that number is, you had to add it. And so if you look here, I even gave you the phrase for you to write it out. It will take Chantel blank minutes to complete her work. Since she only has 30 minutes overall, I took 30 minus the answer to find that she had the answer minutes left. So once you take 2/3 times whatever the difference is here, don't forget that you have to take this answer and you have to add it to wherever you're beginning. So 2/3 times the difference. You're going to get a fraction. Make sure you simplify that fraction. Then you're going to add, because you're going from here to here. So you have to take this number plus whatever that answer was. So you take this, add it to here, and you're going to get what goes with 20. And then you can say it will take her that many minutes to do her work. And then you need to figure out of 30 minutes, then how much time would she have left. Feel free to work with a partner as you talk through this before you go to that problem set. Double number lines can be complicated, but the process is the same every time. And the more you practice, the better and more comfortable you feel with fractions as we move further into ratios and unit rate.